Drawing out this picture can be super helpful in learning the 12 cranial nerves. If we look at this picture, it's forming an abstract face. So when we look at cranial nerve number 1, the number 1 is forming the nose because cranial nerve number 1 is the olfactory nerve, which allows for us to smell. Cranial nerve number 2 is the optic nerve. It's going to be forming the eyes in this face because it allows for us to have our visual sense. Then we can see numbers 3, 4, and 6, those 3 cranial nerves, the oculomotor, the trochlear, and the abducens, are surrounding the eyes because they are going to innervate the extrinsic eye muscles so we can move our eyeballs around. Then we can see number 5, so cranial nerve number 5, the trigeminal nerve, is forming the bulk of the outline of the face because it's going to allow for us to detect sensations from the skin of the face. But remember, cranial nerve 5 also allows us to move our jaw, so innervates the muscles of mastication. Then we can see cranial nerve 7 kind of forming the boundaries of the face because cranial nerve 7 from a motor standpoint is going to control our muscles of facial expression. But also remember, cranial nerve 7 is going to allow us to detect taste sensations from the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. We can see cranial nerve 8 forming the ears in this face because cranial nerve 8, the vestibulocochlear nerve, is going to allow for us to have our sense of hearing, but also our vestibular sense. Then we can see cranial nerve 9 on the back of the tongue because cranial nerve 9, one of its functions is going to allow for taste from the posterior 1/3 of the tongue, in addition to innervating muscles that allow for us to do things like swallow. We can see cranial nerve 10 is kind of in the neck area. Cranial nerve 10 is the vagus nerve. It has a ton of functions. Remember, it's going to be the only cranial nerve that's going to exit out of the head and neck area all the way down and travel all the way down to the thoracic and abdominal cavities from a parasympathetic standpoint. But it also is going to innervate some of the laryngeal muscles in the neck area, so we can see that there, in addition to carrying some taste sensations as well. Then we can see 11 kind of forming this area. That is because cranial nerve 11 is a motor-only cranial nerve. It's the accessory nerve. It is going to innervate the trapezius muscle and the sternocleidomastoid muscles. So those are both, the sternocleidomastoids are here, and then the trapezius is here and draping over the back, so that 11 reminds you of the location of those muscles to an extent. And then cranial nerve 12 is also on the tongue because cranial nerve 12, the hypoglossal nerve, is a motor-only nerve. It's going to help with moving some of those muscles of the tongue.